What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm over here at Dragwire Solutions working on the race car. Let me show you what we got going on today. If y'all have not already done it, please go to Austin's YouTube channel, Dragwire Solutions. I've tagged it in the comments. Give him a subscribe and a follow, please, if you don't mind. He's been working hard on the race car. Let me show you what we got going on today, what we're going to do. This is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know it or not. If you haven't seen it, I've been posting about a race coming up in Kinston. That's a race that me and Kinston Drag Strip have teamed up on, and we're going to do Thursday regular tree side test and tune, normal test and tune. Friday, though, is going to be no prep from the front side, and we may get a cash days race happening, but Saturday is the big day. No prep, tree side, 400 Pro Tree. We're going to have two classes, small tire and then a street car. I know it's always a little controversial, but in our rules, as long as you have tags and insurance and you can make our cruise that we do, you're going to be called a street car for the purpose of our rules. Other than that, if you're on a big tire, a small tire, a medium tire, it doesn't matter to us in that one. We are putting money on top of the purse. So $200 entry fee for the small tire. We're putting $1,500 on top of it. For the street class, we're going to be putting $500 on top of it, and it's a $100 entry fee. It's going to be a good time. This hot rod right here will 100% be at the track. I don't know if it'll quite be ready to actually go racing, but it may. It's possible. We still got time. We're fixing to crank it up as long as everything goes good with it and we don't have any issues. We may make some passes. We'll at least have it out there for people to see it. Hopefully it'll be running unless we have some engine issues. I mean, which you never can tell. Like I said, this is my first time building a big block Chevrolet. Really excited, really nervous, but I think it's going to be okay. Let me show you what we got. Appreciate y'all joining along, following along, and I hope to see y'all at the racetrack next Friday and Saturday. Kinston Dragway in North Carolina. It's going to be a blast. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, so Austin has been diligent. I'm tired. Austin has been diligent. Not coming out today. Can't say it. Diligent. I cannot say it. So he's been working hard on the wiring. It's almost done. All the wiring harness is done. All these zip ties and stuff, of course, they will not be there when he gets all done. He uses, actually, I use zip ties a lot, but he uses permanent connections when he usually does it, and like he'll pop rivet them to it, and so that's what you end up getting. You don't really get the zip tie method. So showed y'all this last time. I did end up moving the fuel pressure regulator. It's zippy tied to this right now, but it's off of that and it's away from my limiters. So we're going to be good there. This thing has an ability to make a bracket here on the back. And I'm going to make a bracket and I'm going to mount it right to that front plate at some point. So we got that done. We got all of our lines run now up here. So we're good there. Austin's got all the sensors in here. That's going to be oil pressure, Scarlett Solutions, back pressure, dome pressure down here, transmission pressure. Looks like he has not stuck that one in yet, so I need to do that one, stick it in. And you see his wiring is almost done. He's got almost everything done. Everything's almost completed. Once he gets everything in place, it's going to be absolutely amazing. These are my boost solenoids. At some point, I will switch over to the Holly ones, but right now, that's the ones I've been using. It's been working fine. You see how neat the wiring is. This thing is in freaking insane, guys. It is going to be exceptional. He's just got a little bit more to do on the harnesses. I think he said he's got just to finish up the coil harness power. The coil harness is done, but he has to get the power that goes out to it and then figure out how he's going to mount all that stuff. But all the wiring is mostly done. So today what I'm going to be doing, I am going to get the seat belt mounted and the seat cover mounted. That's going to be my plan over there today. And I'm also, we got Scarlett Solutions. I was going to show you something. So this is the sensors, the shock sensor that we're going to use on the back. We're going to use an 8-inch shock sensor. On the front, we're going to use a 12. I haven't really figured out how I'm going to mount the front yet, but he's got this neat little tool here, or contraption, or whatever it is. This is really cool, really neat, really easy. So when you have shock bolts, the shock bolts go through the rear end, and then these are billet aluminum. So once you get those on there, the shocks, this screws on. It's the same thread as the shock bolts. Don't know what it is. I think is it a half inch? It may be a half inch. I think that's a half inch. And I don't know if it's a fine, I think it's a fine thread. It looks like a fine thread down in there. whatever it is, it fits on the shock bolts. And basically, shocks are mounted on there, and then this attaches, and then you have your shock sensor. So it just attaches to the car, and then you have your shock sensor. And this one is an 8-inch one, and it has 8 inches of stroke. There's 10 inches, 12 inches. The 12-inch ones are super long. The 8-inch one, I think, is the one we're going to need. We may need the 10-inch one, but let me climb under there real fast, and we'll measure it out, and we'll show you what we got. Hang on. All right, guys, so we ran into a little bit of a problem. These connectors right here are bad to the bone. So go check out Scarlett Solutions. He's got the sensors, and he also has these connections. And essentially, like I said, it is a 1/2 inch, and it is fine thread, and it just screws right in. You tighten it up, and it's good to go. But we have a little bit of an issue. If you kind of notice, this is a canister shock, and the canisters are on the inside, and they usually kind of move a little bit like this. But what I had to do is, unless I wanted to do some type of spacing to get that spaced out past the canister, then I had to do what I did. And what I did is a zippy tie. And so basically I just canted it in just a little bit, not in a bind. The zip tie is not super tight, but it's made it so that there is now an airspace here, and so this can go up and down. So that's going to be the solution that I have. The other option that I had was to take the canisters and move them to the outside here. I couldn't put this on the outside because there's not enough space for that to go into that crack. It comes out too far. So something's got to go on the outside if I did it another way, either the canister or the sensor. I could have probably took that sensor and mounted it, you know, up here to the frame, to the chassis, but this worked out perfect. It's not going to hurt anything at all by doing what I've got done here. So that is going to work out. So the rear shock sensor, now Austin, all he's got to do is do his wiring. All this stuff turned out pretty good. That's my transmission cooler. Don't have a fan on it. Might put a fan blowing down from the inside of the car to help get the smoke out. But I don't know for sure if I'm going to do that or not. So up under here is good to go. So now we got shock sensor on. No Scarlett Solutions sensor. Scarlett Solutions. Those things are bad to the bone. Go get you some. All right, guys. So seatbelt is in. Seat cover is in. I think I might actually have to take the seat cover off. I know it's not very thick, but it is kind of jacking me up and pushing me forward a little bit. But this is, I mean, it's not going to be super comfortable, but full built race car, it's not about comfort. It's about function. So that's what we got. Austin's got all this stuff wired up. He's got this Motion Raceworks stuff here. Says quick disconnect. I got the Motion Raceworks stuff down there. This will be the scramble and the bump. And then this one over here will be big scramble or really big scramble. So little scramble, big scramble. And my trans brake button is right here. Foot, I might have to shorten up the throttle pedal just a tad. And you see I've kind of got my knees cocked up in here. This actually, the way Uncle Mike built this, he put this right here. This bend is kind of perfect as far as like letting my leg lay on that area. I am going to get a transmission blanket for this thing as well. I know some people ask. I mean, that is an aftermarket case, but it is what it is. I'd rather have a blanket on it for sure. So pedal right now, the method that I'm gonna have to do, I mean, I can't really, most of the cars, you know, you kind of articulate your foot based on your heel is the way I normally drive. I have had cars in the past where you slide it, and that's what we're doing here. So I'm driving with my toe or put it down here. You know, it's just one of those things. It's going to have to get used to it. I might shorten it up maybe about 2 inches. Get that up just about right there. And then I can put my foot here and then push and roll. And the one in the Saturn, it actually had a roller on it. And it was kind of the same way. So that I was wondering why they did that. And it worked really good. And that is the reason why. And so, boom. And then we got full throttle up there. So we're strapped in now. The only thing I got to do, the crotch belt is not going to be fun to put on, so I got to figure out where that's actually going to go through. It's going to go through under the seat. There's not really a good bar down there because it's got this tin on it, this sheet metal. So we're going to have to figure out what to do with that. But other than that, the seatbelt is in, and we are, this feels good, man. I mean, you can't really see it, but right here with the old car, my arm was stuck way out the cage. But now with this one, I'm actually going to be tucked inside. And that's what you do, is you tuck your elbow in, and that's actually like right in the right spot. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, that bar is not steep enough. It's got to go between your shoulder and your elbow. And I guess that's kind of what the rules say. And that's what it is. If my arm was straight down, now you can see my elbow is probably 2 or 3 inches below that bar. But for driving, I'm going to tuck it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tuck it right there. I'm going to tuck it in the cage here. And then that's going to be to the office there. Steering wheel, I could have moved it up just a little bit to make it a little higher. And we may do that. I may get Uncle Mike to move that. It'd be pretty easy the way he's got it done. All we have to do is just drill a couple more holes in it, and we can adjust it up. But it's going to be, I think this is going to be pretty cool, man. This is going to be good. Brake pedal over there, stopping, TBM brakes. This is the Wheelwood Master Cylinder kit. See, everything's inside the car. All that stuff is fine. Real comfortable on the brake pedal there. So that is perfect there, the way the brake pedal is. Throttle, gas is a little more uncomfortable, but braking is probably more important than giving it the gas. But I think this is going to work out good. And we are going to have underfloor, so that will be completely aluminum, so that we don't have any fire potentially coming in from the front, coming in under the car. So once we do the floor pan and these couple pieces up here, then basically from the front of the car back, we are completely secluded from any potential fire from the engine. We may end up covering the transmission up at some point too. I mean, I can do that. It'd be easy to put tabs and sheet metal and just bend it. It would not actually hurt me any at all. The only thing we would have to do is over there, up close to that bar, we just have to make sure we're on the outside of that, or I guess on the inside of it, so that when I went to the floor, it would go ahead and go down there. But I may do that at some point. The Saturn was my first exposed transmission. It was a little sketchy at first, and I kind of got used to it, but you know, it's just one of those things. The way it is now, I'm comfortable with it, but there is always a chance, especially with my pressure lines coming right through here. You know, there's a chance that, you know, if we have a leak, if something happens, then we get sprayed with transmission fluid. So I don't know if that's a good idea. Transmission fluid coming out right there is going to be super hot. So probably a pretty bad idea, honestly. But people do it all the time, I guess. So I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for today. The view is freaking phenomenal. Digging it, guys. Digging it. New view, office checking in soon. Appreciate it, guys. Check it out.